I adore you. Yes, there's no one that deserves our praise and our worship. So, for all the glory, all the honor, all the adoration of this program at every time that we have the opportunity to do so. All right, thank you for tuning in. Just tuning in. Sincerely, man, this program. We can read my name, and today we are looking at the topic trials and travails of faith. The trials and travails of faith. Uh, faith that we're talking about, Faith, not Fate. Okay, faith has to do with relationship with God. All right, that's what we're looking at today. Once again, very big thank you to everyone that celebrated me on my birthday. Thank you for the calls, for the prayers, for text messages, for everything. I appreciate you. Okay, I appreciate you so much. God Almighty will remember you all on the day of joy and celebration. Indeed, so much happened in the course of the week. Electricity workers shut down power supply to the nation in protest of government non-payment of emoluments and among other issues. Right, so the nation went into that. We all know what happened. Right, but thank goodness that things have since been restored. Haven't called up extra. Okay, we also had about the sad killing of a student of OOU. Yes. So actually, yeah, OOU. Okay, yes, it's still somewhere in the states happening. And so understand that serial killer proud in Jebuko area, and I believe that the law enforcement agents are already looking into it. All right. Yes. Today, our conversation today is a topic that is needful for us who have faith in God, because it's not everybody that have faith in God. To have a relationship with Him, for you to have faith in Him. So how do you have faith in who you don't have a relationship with? See what I'm saying? Okay. So I had conversation with at least 3 people in the last 2 weeks who are of the Christian faith, and the challenges indeed prompted this conversation, because we don't like, where is God in the midst of all of these struggles and all of these travails? Where God is where we are trying to locate this evening. All right. So we're going to use compass and GPS to locate where God is in the midst of our trials and travails. Okay. But first and foremost, on this program, we usually will set the conversation rolling by looking at keywords. Okay, so it's needful for us to look at the word trial and travail. What do those 2 words mean? Okay, according to dictionary, what exactly can we say trial is? Okay, I am a student of the Bible, a student of the college run by God, and a student of knowledge. So I often would check dictionary to see what exactly does this word, different words that we use every day, what does it mean? All right. Dictionary.com says a trial is a formal examination of evidence by a judge. A formal examination of evidence by a judge. That is one definition of trial. Okay. You see, they say, the case is still in court. Okay. The trial is still ongoing. Number 2, dictionary says trial is a test of the performance, qualities or suitability of someone or something. A test of the performance, qualities or suitability of someone or something. Then number 3, dictionary says also that a trial is a person, experience or situation that tests a person's endurance or forbearance. So you understand what trial is. I can go on and on and on. But I like this one that also says trial is a test to assess the suitability of performance of something or someone. Right? So, see what it means now when we talk about trial. So one key thing there, unique to all of the definition, is that a trial is a test. Right? So, okay, so let's look at travail. What does travail mean? Going through challenges, it could be marital, it could be career-wise, it could be family challenges, okay? Travails, what does the word travail mean? Dictionary says, a painful or laborious effort. Painful or laborious effort. It says to be engaged in painful or laborious effort, where you put in so much and perhaps you get so little out of it. That's travail. Right? Merriam-Webster dictionary defines travail as a physical or mental exertion or piece of work. Okay? Physical or mental exertion. I don't know how many people are listening to this program that are physically exerted or mentally exerted. You've gone through a lot of challenges, perhaps with your work, or with your business, or with your marriage, or with your children, and things are not really the way you expected them to be. It's been a very challenging and difficult time. Right? That lady that sent me that message, I hope you're listening. Said your husband left you with 3 children, and he said she had been weeping day and night. Okay, that weeping uh, and painful sorrow has been her food. Quoting her, that's the word she said. Right, where weeping has become food for you as a result of anguish of the heart and sorrow of your mind. Sorrow, your heart, your mind have become very sorrowful. Life seemed to have dealt terrible blow on you, and it looks like, does it really make sense to still say you are a Christian? That was what one of the people I spoke with me said. Does it still make sense to say God is still on his throne? Ladies and gentlemen, God does not take vacation. I know quite a number of people have taken vacation this summer. Okay? August is the month called summer in some part of the world. And then people go on vacation. God doesn't go on vacation. If he has to go on vacation, then who is going to stand in for him? The president can go on vacation and the vice president can stand in for Mr. President. But I have not seen, neither have I heard or read that God goes on vacation. It's not written anywhere in the Bible or any of the holy books, regardless of your faith. So God doesn't go on vacation. Right? That's number one. Number two is that God is always at the peak of his performance. There's no recession in God. There could be recession in the world as we are experiencing nowadays worldwide. Okay? There's general depression in the economies of the world. Inflation horribly high, not just in Nigeria, but in different parts of, virtually different all parts of the world. Alright, inflation is on the rise. It's worse off in developing nations like Nigeria, where we have not taken time to develop our nation economic wise. A nation that grows, that produces crude oil and yet cannot refine the oil as to export it, would have to pay dearly for unwise decision. Alright? Some days back, I was meditating somewhere and the Spirit of God inside me prompted me to check the meaning of the word foolish. And I looked at the word foolish from the dictionary. And the dictionary tells me to be foolish is to be unwise. Okay? So I didn't use the word foolish deliberately so it wouldn't look like, oh, you are insulting the nation Nigeria. But the dictionary says to be unwise is to be foolish. Alright? The refineries are not working and we produce crude oil in large quantity. In fact, the second largest producer of crude oil among the OPEC nations. So what are we talking about? And yet we have to import this crude resources. We have to import the refined version of it at exorbitant price. Because of the week, the Minister of Finance appeared before the House of Reps, and she did say that Nigeria spends 18.5 billion naira daily on subsidy. 18.5 billion naira daily on subsidy. In 1 month, we're talking about trillions of naira already gone down the drain. So how much will it cost to fix the refinery? See, all right, let's leave the nation. Okay, so let's focus on the conversation. We are looking at the trials and travails of faith. All right, so that's the meaning of trial and travail. Okay, just read it in the dictionary. Trial, all of the definitions in the dictionary point to that it is a test. Travail, it's a painful or laborious effort. So you can see that combination, painful and laborious effort. I don't know how many times you have gone to different church programs, trying to find solution to your problems. Some people will go from Holy Ghost service. Last Friday of the month, you go to Holy Ghost service, and from there you cross to another church program that run every fourth Saturday of the month. Church programs upon church programs. Does it mean that it's that difficult for God to hear us? In fact, some people have even become prayer weary. It's now difficult. You can't even pray anymore. Whether you are of the Christian faith or the Islamic faith, say 5 times daily you need to pray as a Muslim. Observing the obligatory 5 times daily obligatory prayer. Say, oh, I pray that I don't go anywhere again. Let me just stay on my own. Each time they call you that it's time for fellowship, you ease and say, please, beg. So it's you we're talking to this evening. The trials and travails of faith. That's the conversation you see. Alright, I need everyone listening to me to understand that God is still same God as of old. Right? There's a song we sing in Yoruba, Luwa Bebi Tatijo. Yes. Luwa Bebi Tatijo, our lives, Baba Tatijo. God still exists at the time of old. The difference is just that we don't call God the way people of old call. Right? That's a serious indictment. Okay? So, trials and travails. Alright, we have looked at the meaning. Are there biblical examples of people who had trials and travails in the Bible? Can we find people like that? So for everyone, it's like I'm the only one going through all of this trouble. Now only me they go through this trouble. Only me. Sad, you are sorrowful. Everything looks upside down. I'm going to tell you 7 causes of trials and travails. 7 things that causes it. So just keep your dialogue here. Okay, just stay here. Don't go anywhere. Get yourself your favorite drink. Once you go on another quick music break, and call anyone you want to call. Tell them to tune in to Talk Radio 91. Okay? It's going to be impactful. So the trials and travails of faith. I attempt a Yoruba definition for this topic, or a Yoruba title, and what came to my mind is Ìdààmú ìgbàgbọ́. Yes, Ìdààmú ìgbàgbọ́. The trials and travails of faith. Alright? There's so many things that happen around you or that happen to us, even directly, that you'll be wondering what exactly is happening. And one of the most challenging things that people who are going through trials and travails face is the careless talk that people around them make. Right? They talk carelessly. Say, no be this church, you don't dey go all this while. Why nothing don't happen? Perhaps you have been married for God knows how long and you don't have a child. And it has become so embarrassing for you even attending family meetings because people will be asking how far. Bawan. I know someone that said, look, I don't go home any longer because they will be asking me, when are you bringing husband? I'm just tired. So there are people whose calls I don't pick anymore because I know they'll be asking me, so where's your husband? And there are people who specializes in mocking others that are going through their own challenges. You don't understand what somebody is going through and you take delight in mocking them. And maybe you say you are a pastor. You call yourself a pastor. God will have mercy on you. Alright? You just talk carelessly. You don't know what people are going. You don't understand that everybody that you see on the road, beautifully dressed, they are just being covered by that dress. There are a whole lot within that dress. Everybody that appear in different churches this morning all carry all manners of things under their garment. If only the pastor could ask everybody, undress. Undress, I don't mean your naked body. I'm talking about, let's hear your story. Then you will know that, wow, so people are going through these kind of challenges in their lives. Right? So, where exactly is God when we are going through our troubles and travails? You think it was so easy for, Anna, when she went through all of her troubles, particularly the comment of Penina. Or friends of Job, the miserable friends of Job. There are people who come around you, they come and talk carelessly. They don't really understand what you're going through. Maybe this thing you are going through as a result of sin. Look, there are things that happen to people, even in the Bible, that were not as a result of sin. Somebody was born blind and somebody asked Jesus, he said, Master, this guy that was born blind, who sinned? Is it him or his parents? And Jesus responded, said, none of them. So every time you hear that somebody is going through troubles or trials and travails, you always think, only God knows what you don't do it. That's careless talk. Maybe you dey go church. Maybe you know they go church. So, better to keep your mouth shut when you don't understand what people are going through. Right? Just keep your mouth shut and perhaps try and pray for such people. As a matter of fact, your own time also will come. You just don't know. The trials and travails of faith. That's what we're looking at this evening. Alright, so number one person I want to use as an example from the Bible is Abraham. Abraham was said to be a friend of God. How can you say somebody is a friend of God and yet that same God will not give the person a child? Can you imagine? God called Abraham his friend and he didn't give him a child at least the first 90 years of his life. Are you up to Abraham's age? This thing where they go through, I don't just understand, Pastor. Well, in case you don't know, even the pastor you're calling on also has his own troubles and travails. You don't know. You don't know your overseer has his own challenges and troubles. See, it's not a matter of title or position or spiritual standing. Okay. All right. I attended a leaders meeting one day And it shocked me when my pastor told the congregation, the leaders at that meeting, that he, there are some prayer requests that he had before God for about 10 years that God is yet to answer. I said, And Sunday morning, pastor looks good in his tie, lovely shirt, jacket, and the shoe is shiny. Okay. So you need to understand that you're not alone. That's what I'm trying to drive at. You're not alone. You are not alone. Don't get tired. Say, sue me by going out sue me. Don't. I'll tell you the things you need to do very soon. Just skip that. Abraham, God called Abraham his friend. And he didn't give him a child for the first 90 years of his life. Until, in fact, the first 100 years, he didn't give him the promised child because Abraham had Isaac at the age of 100. When his wife, Sarah, was 90 years old. The Bible says so. And Abraham had Isaac when he was 100 years. At that time, Sarah was 90 years old. So why would he do such? There's another one. Lazarus was said to be a friend of Jesus. And his sisters called on Jesus to come. Lazarus, your friend, is dead. In fact, they called him before he died when he was sick. And he said he was coming. And he didn't come until 4 days later when he had died and they had buried him. How do you say somebody is your friend and they said he's sick unto death and you didn't show face until 4 days later? If you show face on 4 days later, you know what we will say in this part of it? We will say, already look you and say, you see, he's not a true friend. Ladies and gentlemen, I come to disappoint you that God is a true friend. Oh, Jésù nìkan ọ̀rẹ́ òtítọ́, ọ̀rẹ́ ayé yìí lè kọ̀ wá sílẹ̀, ṣùgbọ́n Jésù kò jẹ́ gbàgbé. Jesus won't leave you alone. He won't forget you. It doesn't matter how you may feel that your friends have deserted. Your friends will desert. In fact, members of your family will desert you. But there's only one who will stay there with you, the one who created you, the one who went to the cross of Calvary to pay with his life. He will stay with you. He will. And that's where I draw strength from. People ask me funny questions. Do you have challenges? Do you go through? You only need to be close to me to know that I have troubles and travails also. But I have faith in God and I understand that trouble doesn't last forever. There's an expiry date onto every trouble, every problem that every human being goes through on this side of eternity. There's an expiry date, there's a terminal date. Right? So, get encouraged this evening and shake off the dust. Shake it off. Can you tear off your suicidal note and all of those horrible plans that you have to quit your marriage? I'm just tired of this marriage. Just tired. I want to move out. I received such messages from different people in the course of the week. In fact, the last 2 weeks. Just tired of this marriage. I want to run away with my children. Hey, don't run away yet. It's not time for you to run away. Hey, don't run away yet. Just give God a chance. Yes, we've looked at Abraham. Let's look at another person. Yes, there's someone in the Bible called Joseph. Hi, can you imagine a young man that had dreams? God showed him dreams. He ministered to him and showed him the things that, where he was taking him to. God showed him where he was taking him to, but he didn't tell him the process he would go through. And that's one thing the amazing thing I've seen about this God, this invisible God. He will only tell you, perhaps, where he's taking you. He won't tell you the processes that you take, pass through to get to where you're going. Amazing, right? He will tell you where he's taking you to, but he may not show you the processes that you go through. That's what happened to Joseph. Can you imagine? 17-year-old boy. Went through all manners of troubles and travails. His brothers sold him into slavery. They knew that it was their father's favorite, because their father gave him a coat of many colors. And their father asked him, he told him, go and check your brothers in the field. And the moment they saw him coming, they said, here comes the dreamer. And they started thinking, what should we do to this boy? For his own younger brother that was born by the same mother, Benjamin, was the one who said, don't let us kill him. And so they decided that, okay, if we won't kill him, let's sell him into slavery. So that was how Joseph was sold into slavery. The man who had a dream that the moon, the stars were bowing to him. The young boy who had a dream that his parents also bowed to him. And then the sheep and every other animals in his father's house, the element bowed to him. Unfortunately, he found himself as a slave in Egypt. That was how he found himself in the house of Captain Potiphar. Right? And then the wife of Potiphar started casting longing eyes on Joseph. And Joseph found himself in the prison for an offense he didn't commit. Can you see trials and travails? Somebody may have accused you of what you didn't do. Unfortunately, you are not there to even defend yourself, or you don't even have the opportunity to say, it wasn't me that did this thing, but somehow the talebearers have gone to town to destroy your person and your personality. Now you drum. That's what happened to Joseph. They destroyed him completely. Alright? They sent him to jail, but they didn't understand that every plot that they were plotting against him was to facilitate his destiny. That's one thing I need you to know. Whatever trials and travails you are going through this evening, understand that it is going to be for your own good ultimately. Yes, it will be for your own good ultimately. So you just need to be patient. Yeah, that's what the elders say. That the shadow is just in a hurry. The sun is still coming there. Right? You need patience when you are going through troubles and travails and challenges. Wow, time is not our friend on this program. And we have quite a whole lot to share. Okay, so what do we do? Perhaps I'll just leave. We'll go as time permits us. So here at the appropriate time, we'll usher in our guests. I have three young people in the building coming in very shortly. They want to talk to us about a program that is forthcoming, a youth program that is coming very soon. Right? We'll be asking them questions and telling us what they intend to do with that program, how it will impact your benefit. Alright? Yes, so if you just tune in, the program is still Sincerely Men, and our topic today, we are looking at trials and travails of faith. Right? Trials and travails of faith. What are those things that have challenged your faith? Those things that have challenged you seriously, and you were wondering, where exactly is God in all of this trouble? Now, one of the people that spoke with me some 2 weeks ago, before we came up with this discussion, was a 54-year-old lady. I've not seen her physically, but I've seen her picture. She's fair complexioned, alright, and beautiful a lady to behold. 54-year-old who is still a virgin, and she has not been able to find husband. So it was her elder sister who introduced her to me, and we had conversation, myself and the elder sister. She said, I really don't understand. 54-year-old virgin beautiful, fair complexion, a teacher in a school in Lagos. Hmm? And she couldn't find a husband in 54 years of her living on this side of eternity. So what exactly is it? That's somebody who couldn't find husband. There are those who actually found husband and they are not happy in their marriages. And they are lamenting ever coming in contact with the person that they had children for. Yeah, I wish I never met. Okay? So you can see different strokes for different people. Alright? So we've talked about Joseph. There's another person in the Bible whose story also interests me. And that is Zechariah. Zechariah is the father of John the Baptist. You read the story in Luke chapter 1 verse 5 to 7. The Bible tells us that Zechariah was a righteous man. He was a priest and a righteous man. So, and the next sentence from verse 2 says, but he had no child. So, why should a righteous man, if you say somebody is righteous, righteous means you are in right standing with God. Why should somebody who is righteous not have a child? Why? You know, it was Ebenezer Obey who sang the song, Orooluwa Ede, Ede, Orooluwa, Orooluwa Ede, Ede, Orooluwa. See, we can't phantom God's ways, and we cannot phantom the things that God does and how He does His things. You can't. Zechariah, Luke chapter 1 verse 1, verse 5 to 7 was described as a righteous man, but he had no child. Same also with his wife. They were righteous people. And they served. If you read further, you see, he said, he stayed in the temple all of his life, serving God. Why should somebody who live his life, that sister I talked about, 54-year-old, she's a worker in a popular ministry here in Lagos. She served God. She has gone for so many deliverance services, deliverance upon deliverance. Talking about the trials and travails of faith. Alright. So that's Zechariah. How about Job? Job, the man who had wealth. He had wealth, he had resources. He had donkeys, he had animals. He was a wealthy man at his time. But you see, everything he had went down. They all went down. And as if that was not enough, he also lost all his children. He lost all of them. All in one day. He lost all his children in one day. So, why should God's people suffer? You know, I don't know many to see only God know who they call and truly. Your own will come. Okay. Maybe you are judging others. Your own time will come. It will soon come. Alright. So that's why I said to us, this conversation is important. This topic is very critical. You just need to open your mind. I hope that God will speak through my vocal cord to you, okay? So that you can come out of your despair and agony of heart. Only God knows how many times you have cried today and things have looked very bad for you. It seems like God is no longer on the throne. In fact, everything you see in our nation is just gross darkness. So, What are the causes and reasons for trials and travails? What are the causes? Some of that I was gonna share when we come back. Okay, I'll take this quick music break. Okay, I think we should just attend to our guests. And then thereafter, our guests will come in after the music break. We'll have discussions with them. Then thereafter, we'll move on to looking at the causes and reasons for trials and travails. There are 7 things I've written down on my phone notepad. I didn't write anything in ink today. I used my phone. So there are 7 things I'll be sharing with us. At least one of those 7 things are the reason you are going through what you are going through. I'm telling you, one of them. Believe it or not, at least one. Alright. And then I'll share with us the way out. Okay, what exactly should we be doing when time of trials and trials? Okay, so just keep the dialogue here. Take a very quick music break.